Happy New Year everybody, we're into 2019, fancy that. And I see the weather's got a lot warmer and a lot more settled, which is good for us who are going to be going out fishing. Now in the local area that we're doing this report for, which of course is around the Canterbury region, we've got the advantage of having much lower rivers than we've had for the previous 2 months, I guess. And that means that the fish become a little bit more concentrated and easier for us to catch. I love it when the rivers get low and the trout come up to the surface, because it opens up a whole area of my favourite kind of fishing, which is dry fly fishing. Remember, this time of year they're looking at the surface a lot more. You've got far more insects out there, so you've got dragonflies and damselflies and blowflies and all sorts of things that blow in, let alone the mayflies and caddisflies which naturally occur in the river system. So get yourself out and particularly get into those big braided rivers. I've always said that the great frontier still left for us is the big braided rivers, and I mean rivers like the Huranui, the Waiau, the Waimakariri, the Rangitata and the Rakaia, which are rivers that I like to frequent. Often they're quite big when you get into the headwaters. I know they've taken a lot of water out of the bottom ends of them, but if you get up into those headwaters, it's surprising just how good the fishing can be. And of course it provides a tremendous amount of variety. You just haven't got one big channel of water. You've got all these little braids that bring all sorts of different sizes into what you're doing. So you can have a very big deep hole off from a very fast bit of current, and in there might be some real monster trout for you to have a go at. So you can have all sorts of different fishing challenges and within the one day. And because most people are a bit intimidated by the bigger rivers, you don't get so many people out there. They're all wanting to go to the small spring creeks, the ones that are always talked about. So get off the beaten track, you'll be surprised how well that whole thing can go. Now when it comes to lake fishing, of course, another prime time. This time of year you've got the long days, you've got hot days, you've got high summer, you've got green beetles flying around. And gee, I tell you, if you like your fly fishing, this is a wonderful time to be out there with your dragonfly imitations and your green beetle imitations. It always seems so restful to me just to be able to pop out a fly and just wait for some big set of jaws to come all around it. And of course what happens next, that's worth the price of admission, as they say, because it's just so much fun. To me, I love that kind of fishing more than any other kind of fishing out there. And of course, if you're not straight into dry fly fishing, you can go out there with your normal spinning gear and do well. Don't be afraid to use soft baits. We have got plans of doing a reasonably comprehensive how to soft bait the main rivers type of video. That's coming up in this year. And what we want to do is just show you how productive those things can be when particularly they're fished upstream. So don't be afraid to go out there, take out your soft baits, pop them through the river situations, even in lake situations. Very, very good, but particularly when you've got some form of river coming into the system. You just basically fish off the current and let it go real slowly. It's surprising how well that they will perform. And now, the great thing about the low rivers has also meant that there's a lot of kahawai being around the river mouths, and I've really enjoyed my kahawai fishing over the last few days. I've been just going down to the Waimak. It's real close to Christchurch, very local. You want to be there an hour, maybe 2 hours before low tide, and then fish through the low tide and then wait for that push maybe an hour as the tide rises again. They can be a bit hit and miss. Some days are much better than others. I was down there Wednesday night and there was fish everywhere. You got a wee bit wet because we were well out and there's a few people there enjoying the same pleasure that I do, but there's something exciting about casting out a lure and having those fish grab it. And there's all sorts of different ways that you can catch them. I know that soft baits work really well. If they're a long way out, you have to use yourself a reasonably substantial lure to cast out there and get amongst them. But when they come in close, I tell you, they are great fun on a fly. So don't ever underestimate kahawai. I think they're a precious fish. It sometimes concerns me just to see the way that people treat them, where they leave them flapping on the beach. That does nothing for me, and I don't think it's really a fair thing to do, and I'd love to see a few more people clamp down on that. If you want to keep them, well and good, kill them quickly, bleed them to get the best out of them, and then look after them well and they'll give you a decent feed. But if you're not going to do that, please, please, please put them back in the water nice and quickly. Let's leave those stocks out there so that they can continue to be the precious and wonderful fish that they are, that we can all chase. And of course, they're right up and down the coast. They're not just in the Waimakariri River, they're all down the major rivers, right from the Huranui, Waiau Huranui, Ashley Mouth, all the way down to the ones south out the peninsula as well. Well worth a bit of a look, and certainly great fun, particularly if you're a bit of a beginner and haven't done much, or you've got someone in your family who wants to do a bit of fishing. Come on down to the likes of the easy access at the mouth of the Waimaka area at Karaki. The great thing is I've seen kids who've never caught fish before having an absolute ball when they've got themselves a decent kahawai on the other end, and it provides great family entertainment and a great introduction in learning how to play and respect fish all at the one time. Well, the kingies, they keep on coming. I know that salmon have been a wee bit on the downside, and I guess once upon a time we used to be mainly a salmon fishing store. Now we're hardly a salmon fishing store because there's not that many salmon. But the great news is the salmon might have moved out, but the kingies are moving in. So make sure you get yourself all organised to go down and have a bit of a go for them. A few more people are starting to get them land-based at the moment, and the tip of the estuary from where the South Shore is across to Shag Rock, right out there by Sumner, there's been a number of kingfish caught just on normal spinning baits. So if you want to go out there and have a real ball, hook one of those, you'll see why kingfish eat kahawai for breakfast. They really go for it. So get yourself out there. If you've got a boat, even better. Get yourselves around the peninsula. You're looking for kelp, you're looking for structure, and if you want to get all the way out to where we've got our mussel farm, a lot of kingies out there. Again, the reports coming in are really good catches. I know it's got more and more people going out there, but the fishing is still very, very good and well worth a bit of a look. Now, as far as the surf fishing is concerned up and down the coastline, beautiful weather, a lot of nor'west days, great time to get out. Go out for an evening surf fishing. I tell you, you have a lot of fun. You just get yourself your big rod out, pop out some good baits like crabs or prawns or some sort of shellfish type bait. Stick them out there. You'll be surprised what's around there. Nice big rig. Of course, kahawai will take those sorts of baits, as do elephant fish, which is one of the prized ones because they taste so good to eat. So get yourselves out there, enjoy what you're doing. The salmon have still a little on the slow side. I'd love to see a few more around, I must admit. And I won't give you all my remember when stories, but the quality of the fish being caught is very good. I think probably the Rakaia has got the most reports of fish in it, and they're right through because it's been so high for so long. People are catching them right up to the gorge and above, and all the way down to the mouth. Just get yourselves out there. The quality is good, so that does make up for the fact that there might be lack of numbers. Well, we'd love to talk to you more about this, so please feel free to call the store, come in and see us. We're at 484 Cranford Street, and of course we're online at completeangler.co.nz. We'll see you there.